This shift will reshape how you think, learn, and connect with others in the years ahead. Hello Aquarius Rising and welcome to my new video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alexandra and I'm a professional ISAR certified astrologer. Today we're talking about a big shift. Saturn, your ruler and the planet of discipline, time, structure and karmic lessons, has entered the sign of Aries and your third house in May 2025, and it will stay there until April 2028. The third house represents communication, thoughts, neighbors, siblings, and relatives. So what kind of changes can you expect in the coming years? First of all, you might notice the change in your energy because Saturn is your ruler. Saturn is in its fall in Aries, so don't get surprised if you start feeling differently. Aries is the fastest of all signs of the zodiac, and Saturn is not familiar to it because Saturn represents time, patience, and delays. What can this trigger? On one hand, you might suddenly catch yourself being impatient, while on the other, you might get inspired to start new things in your life because Aries represents new beginnings. It's ruled by Mars and very competitive. You could suddenly feel the wave of this powerful fire energy. Talking about the third house, you might start taking things more seriously and perceiving certain aspects of your life from a more serious perspective. Saturn is not strong in Aries, but it's still Saturn. The most important thing to know here is that you should approach this transit from the higher level of consciousness, and that means making decisions and setting goals with time and responsibility on your mind, asking yourself, where will this decision take me in the next few years? Saturn in the third house could also trigger worries, especially for those who have a difficult aspect between Saturn and Mercury in their birth chart. So if you catch yourself worrying too much during this transit, try to step back, think about the thoughts that you're thinking and change them. Thoughts are extremely important because they shape your reality, so pay attention. Make sure you rest your mind whenever you can. Aries is the sign of initiation and new beginnings, and Saturn represents structure and time. In your third house, which is an intellectual house, this might trigger the need to start learning something new. If you have certain interests but haven't dedicated enough time and energy to them yet, the next 2-3 years are great for you to deepen your knowledge through different courses and modules. You're getting serious about your interests. In my case, I've been interested in astrology since childhood and studied it extensively on my own, but it was only when Saturn entered my third house in Aquarius that I enrolled in an official astrology school and graduated 3 years later. The third house also represents the way you communicate with others. With Aries in this house, you might share your opinion fast without thinking too much. And Saturn will ask you to pause, step back and reflect before you speak. Remember, Saturn represents breaks, so it wants you to slow down, speak responsibly, and take into consideration how your words might affect others. The third house is also the house of your siblings, relatives, and even neighbors. Depending on your birth chart, Saturn can trigger certain unsolved topics. You should keep in mind that Saturn is the planet of lessons, so it might test your relationship with these people. For some, the relationship can become colder or even challenging. You might face challenges with a neighbor, for example. And if you have a harmonious aspect or harmonious aspects in general in this house in your birth chart, your connection with these people can become stronger. The third house is also the house of traffic and short trips. If you have planets in your third house or the ruler of the third house in difficult aspects, especially with Saturn, pay attention to your vehicle, check if everything works properly, check your brakes because they are ruled by Saturn. Also, while driving and traveling, pay attention to trucks, buses, and other larger vehicles because they are all represented by Saturn, so try to stay away from them whenever possible. For some of you, this is the time when you might find traveling less attractive than usual because other things might occupy your mind, or there might be some obstacles that could delay the process, again, depending on your birth chart. Overall, this is a great transit to commit to the things you're interested in and approach learning more seriously. Thank you so much, Aquarius Rising. If you found this video useful and inspiring, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a new upload. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.